Ugandan men dying to have a love relationship with the Afghanis. How many Ugandans have married the Arabs? A whole minister was interviewed on BBC. Urigobani. She's just a woman. But in Rwanda, it's a struggle between the British government and other parties over the offer to Rwanda to clear these immigrants seeking permission to enter Britain, not to go straight away. Let us have a center in Uganda. Clear those who have cleared, go back and enter Britain. But there's a bitter struggle. Why? Rwanda knows how many hotels remain empty. These people are going to use our water, they are going to use our hotels, they are going to use our food, and they are so
Rwanda,
yes. A whole minister in gender, a woman, was interviewed on BBC. A minister, a serious minister. Yes. Our men are sharpening, including yours. You are getting, Mao used to say, garbage in, garbage out. Let me give you another example. President Uhuru Kenyatta and his advice. Yes. Garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out.
Tukyali Kunsonga ya Sipiika n'eggwanga erya Bungereza. Sipiika ebiseera bye by'omu maaso eby'obwa Sipiika biyimiridde bitabukamale agenda kubitubuulira ng'akomyewo. Katusooke tuwummulemu n'oluvannyuma tukomewo.
Enoni Baba TV obusoga bulayire.
Everett Real Estate tubaleetedde estate empya 3 nnamba okuli Nakawuka Town Estate, Nkowe Karit Estate ne Kanyanda Estate. Ekyenjawulo ku Nakawuka Town Estate enguudo zonna ziri mu kukolebwa chorus. Estates zino nteeketeeke bulungi ate nga nnungi okutereka mu ssente zo naddala gwe ayagala okuinvestinga mu ttaka. Tunuulira nnyo estate y'e Kanyanda era jjukira nti enguudo mu estates zaffe zonna nga zibulungi. Nkowe Karit eri kumpi n'ekibuga ate nga n'owa taxi akussiza ddala ku estate kwennyini. Kanyanda Estate ofunayo 5 ku 10 ku miliyoni 7 zokka. Nakawuka Town Estate ofunayo 5 ku 10 ku miliyoni 25 zokka. Nkowe Karit Estate ofunayo 5 ku 10 ku miliyoni 25. Kati jangu ku office zaffe ku Ntebe Road kubayita ababiri Kasani Stage ku kizimbe okuli Absa Bank. Everett Real Estate kampuni y'ettaka ey'amazima n'obwenkanya.
Abantu bange ab'ebusoga olwaleero tuli kuidukizibwa ku bwetaavu bw'okukomya amabunda mu bawala abakaali abato n'obulwaire bwa mukenembya. Amabunda mu bawala abakaali kwetuuka ene waife Busoga kiri kutwiza ine inuma mu lugendo lwaife olw'okulwanisa mukenembya okuwaawo mu mwaka gwa 2003. Ekyo titwidda kukinigira ku liiso era tikiikirizibwa. Tulina okwewala era okudema okwenigira mu bikolwa byona byona ebyokutuntuza abakyala. N'olwekyo tukomye endawukana mu bitundu byaife awo ni tusobola okulwanisa mukenembya. Busoga okuyisanya n'amaanyi.
Together let us end inequalities to end AIDS by 2030.
Enoni Baba TV obusoga bulayire.
Mbakulisayo nnyo mukumulako okonembebaza okubeera mu program yaffe Noganga Mukamu kitundu kino ekisembayo the big story. Mwetubeera ne mukadde waffe Tamale Mirundi mutabani wa Yohana ne Mole ba Mirundi eri waffe Kalisizo mu Buddu nga tukobaganya ku nsonga ekwata ku ggwanga erya Bungereza ne sanctions eryatadde ku bakulembeze baffe omuli ne Sipiika nga tuli mu kwogerako era nga program yaffe eno mbajukiza nti ne batuusibwako aba Everett Real Estate dealers banono nga batunda abamu n'ogula ettaka mu bitundu by'eggwanga bino ebyenjawulo.
Abatajja kubba.
Nga tulina ettaka e Kanyanda milioni 6, tulina ettaka e Karit Nkowe milioni 25, ate nga tulina n'ettaka e Nakawuka milioni 25. Tetukomawo wokka, tulina n'ettaka eddala eriri e Galuga milioni 65. So akati aba Everett mugende mubasange kubayita ababiri kukubo erigenda Kasenyi awo nno waggulu w'ekizimbe kiriko Abusa Bank ojja okubasanga nga bali ku simu noti 7 noti 5 217 noti 7 noti 5 217 oba noti 7 noti 317 10 biba Everett Real Estate Dealers abakafulu mu kutunda ettaka ate nga lya byapa byokka tebatunda bibanja batunda ettaka eririko ebyapa byokka tukyali ku nsonga ku Tamale Mirundi wetugendedde nga ina example endala gyatwa ya Moyi sebo mukulu Tamale
Kugambi ndi what I'm saying. You don't have a strong diplomatic corps. You don't have career diplomats, and you have a problem with the Chinyarwanda practice. When one person is attacked, you believe that he is going to create a vacuum for another person. And when my programs are switched off, other TV stations don't see it as an attack on the media. Ojokeri wana kwasa omutwe twebajasi geza kajje yentweyo ekyo nkifunye andi nkubuulira negamba nti Kenya boss Uhuru and Ruto were indicted by ICC, and there is an arrogant fellow in Kenya. I read about his articles. He's celebrated, he's a PhD holder, teaches me in American Union. But when he analyzes many things of his, he did law, but he does not have grasp political principles. The man is there, every Sunday morning, very flamboyant. I was here, I have humiliated and given bloody noses. What did the Kenyans do? The ICC, that man wrote, forget about Uhuru Kenyatta, they can even sign a check and you take it to the bank. The Uhurus decided to do one thing. Once somebody is paying for your political blood, the main humble and humble yourself. The issue was that a retired judge called Waki had connived with Raila Odinga to ensure that these people don't stand against him. God does not believe in malice. Raila Odinga is a failure. He's now going to Ruto to support him. As if a Muganda asks you, when you ask somebody something, the one you denied something in the past, you think he has forgotten. Naye bali abasajja b'Ekenya baayimirawo ku bantu baabwe and they voted them in spite of the noise around them. But this is Britain, not the ICC. Britain is a single country. But where have Ugandans come up? Parliament, before this man who speaks for Parliament comes up to tell us that he does not own the property. The issue is not that he owns the property, because they have not mentioned this. Stick on any sheets. And the fact that this is an internal matter. We have cases in Britain. There is a man called Rodi Archer, who was the big financier of the Conservative Party. He sued a newspaper, and he was not seen on the beach with a woman. But the newspaper he was awarded £500,000. Hey, Rodi Archer. And he could beach Saturday. They failed to share the money with his friend. And his friend spilled the beans and said we are there. Rodi Archer was put in prison. Are we having just Uganda a travel ban for Rodi Archer? It's a British matter. There was also a case involving a minister and some MPs violating parliamentary privileges. They said those who live in Britain must have houses. You get a house allowance. But even those who are living in Britain, we are not living in Britain. We are living in Britain. To have allowances, house allowance, which was illegal. They were caught. And one minister was using government funds to buy movies, blue movies for her husband, to stimulate him. They were dealt by the British law. They were dealt with by the British law. Did any country impose a ban on them? So this is an assault on our sovereignty and independence. And how are you sure that from moving to the Speaker, do not move to the executive? They will not move to the judiciary.
Speaker nti yayitamu etteeka lya
And
homosexual.
kyenkubuulira, kakati the issue is homosexuality. But they are hiding. They know that if you use the homosexuality issue, Ugandans will run behind. What?
Naye ffe batuyita bassiru
Mwe muli.
nti ffe
Ffe tulowooza, ffe tukkiriza.
nti bannabbanja n'abalala
Babusiba naye
bo bandibaddeko sanctionis.
Amabati gali divided into two. How has since independence the British were here? What did they create for Karamoja? If their attention is in Karamoja.
Nothing.
What happened to those who squandered the Wero funds amounting to $10 million? We pose the questions. Are you honest? Are you honest?
Nekitegeeza nti no ne parliament ya Britain ya Bungereza nayo ekkiriziganya ne sanctions.
Abazungu bakolera baseparating what the reports from the American ambassador here or the High Commission ate say over M16 sibeera nabyo.
Biba byanjawulo.
Omubaka wa America ayinza okuwandikira ebbaluwa tugenda ku American Embassy ofuneyo visa.
Tekisoboka.
They separate. Bush, when Bush declared the one of Saddam Hussein, his pastor objected. He said when it comes to matters related to religion, I agree with you. This is politics.
Ebyo byawukana.
Bush rejected the opinion of his pastor during the America Saddam war. But if you don't have a strong department, until you are going to have an oil producer, you would strengthen your position in Saudi Arabia. But even the man you are appointed to go to Saudi Arabia is sitting here in foreign affairs in a small office, waiting $200,000. And you say, Museveni said, once you produce oil, I'm going to dress like a sheikh. An oil producer, you would strengthen yourself in Saudi Arabia.
Awali abakafuru. Abamafuta.
Omuwala agenda okufumbirwa atandika okutambulako mu gawuni z'abanene agenda ku mpaka. Which one switch? Which one kiki ekiri ku mulembe? Which one kiki? Kakati bw'obanga ne Saudi Arabia ng'ogenda okusima amafuta. And how do you flout the president's directive?
Kati mukulu Tamale. Future ya Amongi mu politics eriyeti. Anakomawo. Future
ya Amongi. The dangerous thing is that those countries operate in groups. Once Britain denies you, you will see other countries denying you. Two, how do you have a speaker who cannot be allowed to move?
President anakola naye.
Anti kyenkubuulira. Until kati banaboogera speaker bogera talina property. They are not raising any issue. Don't divert from the real issue. The real issue they are using is iron sheets. You concentrate on iron sheets. What's the British interest in iron sheets? Tell us. Were they donated by Britain? Were they manufactured in Britain? Were they supplied by a British company? In the case, even if they were supplied by a British company, it means that the government has refunded the money. Museveni ordered the buying of new iron sheets. How many Kalamajongo do you have in the British Parliament? Yes. What investment did the British invest in Karamoja in the last 70 years they were here to be concerned about the plight of Karamoja? Are they the leading donors in Karamoja? Whenever Karamoja is struck by food shortages, famine, how many times have we seen the British taking their food? Why do you cry more than the DVD family? Mr. Britain. We should line behind our speaker. The issue is homosexuality. That's why they want to intimidate the parliament. And they are not doing here. No. They are telling other parliaments, other speakers. I even had two speakers. There is a speaker in South Africa and another in Namibia. Why are they concentrated? Democracy is easy. It is easier to fight South Korea than fighting in North Korea. The other one is a democracy. This one is a dictatorship. This is why in North Korea.
North Korea ya amani.
Anti poor.
Ni ya amani.
He is not democratic. Again, in democratic countries, you target the democratic institution. You create panic. Nibatia. Kati mweriya mwe balimanyi. Nti having seen the judgment, yabalamuzi balindo olabe.
Ni ati bano tubabatwala mu court.
Kugambye etteeka lya homosexuality lyagenda mu court because you cannot appeal against an assented bill. Kasa president zikakuwa mukono neziragawa mu court.
Ni balingira ne bakola appeal.
Abalamuzi ne baba bagezi. Balina bibajjamu naye tebalijjamu.
Tebalijjawo.
Yes. It tells you how powerful the homosexuals are. In fact, I have a problem. Whenever in a situation evaluation, with your driver wange, wali wakozesa moto entwe yako buli primitive kasajja kali primitive nyaka gikozesa kagala ko yusi n'entwe yako n'entwe ne mukazi wako nateeka mu ekitwembo bakimba abaana ku ssomero. Whenever abaana nga baba ku ssomero wanga bagende motoka ebula. Whenever there is a big wedding, kajugendera mu n'entwe yako omanyi mu Western Uganda. If you don't have a government registered number, you will feel. Ne atenga nze wange motoka ziri womeka.
Nyingi waka.
Nze abana bange bangana. My children told me never bring a government vehicle to collect us from school or to take us. Children reduce us. Abana bavuma mu motoka yabo. Mbakimira mu Mirundi wanu.
So simweyizo.
Mirundi wanu.
Ye banona.
Ye nona abana bange Mirundi wanu. Benz, Mercedes Benz. Wava muno airlifted it from London. When I had the money about can you fight me? Me with allies. Songo allies. Now my Songo allies in this case.
Kakati driver ye.
He's the president.
Driver ye.
Mwenda and others. You are isolated.
Driver wachitakola milimo gyo.
This is why I've decided to go to parliament. To widen my platform. Yes. To widen my platform. We are lacking intellectuals. And to look. When you look at the way the Ministry of Sports is working, it's to isolate Hamozi Chisao. But Ham has helped us, has woken up a sleeping dog. You are panicking now. You are panicking now. Atechaliwo. Nebadusanga labizabwe. Ndoza no mupira ba. Nambole kakati akola nnyo. Bageze n'emipiira. How much money if we audit that money, how much money have you eaten?
Kutamani nade kono omuntu omu yagenze Nambole.
Nte kisawe cha Hamu mu cha isolating.
Ali mufufwa. Ne yangamye nti mwami kwezi sente ze babbye Nambole tetuzimanyi.
Gwanga omanyika nkuvuli.
Bataddemu butebe
fa Abaganda
galangi na muddo.
Ibajja kunyolo gwanga talina waabonera. Fetubala. Bajja obwe, they removed the obwe, they humiliated the obwe. Obwe was the Minister of Sports, humiliated him. Mbumama ayagala ogwanga. Ayagala ogwanga. Kuranga mukoza analya sente. Mukoza analya sente. The buses must be removed. Mwina bobera n'abantu abalaba abangi. Kyamonge naye ayina abalabe bangi. You have gone to Busoga, Mama Busoga. Kadaga is there. Kadaga is formidable. You have hinted on removing the buses.
Zineza samu kutesa.
Umanyina nyirizo.
Pioneer.
Katika nkubulire. There was a time when we were sitting facing giving his first lift to Nambole bajitunde. What if they bought that Nambole at that time, which was intended for sale?
Ni bali balijitundira ki?
Baleta abanyankole abogera Uganda n'olunyankole.
Bajigule.
And bali commending. Nambole yeta kyasoboka. The habitating it is very expensive. Mukijewo. Mukitunde nabaga Nambole is sitting in a 2 square mile land. Nebajja abanyankole abogera Uganda n'olungereza abachina. Abogera Uganda n'olungereza. Manyi Uganda n'olunyankole. Nebagamba mbukisawe kyenda kivu kijibwewo. Kubanga newe kikakinga fire kiti wali escape rule. But mundewo there was the most stupid person omumba tutu kitandwe. Waliwo sajjanga balito omunyimfe mu Baganda omufungulandiga yasinga obusiru. Emufungulandiga wonders how a sheep can mount the other when it has a large chikira, a large tail. The mufungulandiga will wait and see. He is confused. How do they? The already Uganda uses Rwanda. Abasinga abayambalanga ovolo. Ovolo Abaganda baziyita Muganda omuzungu tapa. But the bazungu don't go to the toilet. Why? How do they remove the overalls? Ngabagende mu toilet. Tuziyita muzungu tapama. There were an argument in Uganda when they saw singers and these contractors donning overcoats. Muzungu tapama. But what way to search you wumba to watch it and chitandu. The boy has no money. The boy has proved he has money. You kept his money in a certain bank thinking that you will fail it. Yes. He told me, Tata Tulumba basajja abo be bayina obuyinza. Be bayina obuyinza ekisawo kyaffe kiriketata va ku bantu basajja. But as a Ugandan, I want to tell you, once the president has endorsed this kisawo, you must follow suit. Museveni consult. Togambu kafu yakanye mbu tekiweze. Would Museveni visit and tour and commission ekisawo ekitaweze.
Tekisoboka.
Teyageze mpira Museveni si musambi wa mufiira.
Nagukuba.
Museveni tajjanga ku mutimu n'asamba.
Yasambirako ennambo.
Kakati bantu baga ya musinga okutegeera. Nti twaisolated ng'ekisawo. He will call you. Ubatabawo batakoze eki. Atogona taswala zibanange enswala. Ekisawo ekyesaagala. I said Magago would not go there.
Ukuruno olwa Museveni.
Batugamba mu politics, nobody quarrels with the success. This young man has succeeded.
Ekisawo yakizimbi.
If otigwa gwanga gyoteekako ebisawo ebimeka Museveni byalagidde. Inzikulu is about to die. If you ask the youth of today, my children, you ask them about Inzikulu, they don't know how. But Museveni directed bazimbe ekisawo mu manya ga Inzikulu mu Arua. What did they do?
Atakibua.
Bagamba.
Nicha kibua nacho.
Bagamba mbu sente muziwe ba local district. Do they have engineers? Oh no, those are leftovers one day. And if the police had decided to deal with all of those who stole, and they widened their net, I will support them. If every corrupt person is dealt with, I will a police intervention. Kubanga, when a woman is battered by a violent husband, and she hears that violent husband has been battered thoroughly by another man, the woman can even offer sex to that man. Yes. I'm beat the bow. So when foreign countries like Britain are zeroing on killings of people for organisms, I clap for them because we are fair to do it. The local authorities are fair to do it. I clap for them. If they are moving about corrupt people, including those who are involved in the big scandals that have depleted the national resources, I will clap for them. But when they narrow on an individual, they lose my support. Yes. And Britain yarigambye because Britain now broke away from the European Union. It deals with as an independent gund. Bilateral, we call it bilateral. Bilateral means that country to country. If the British government had come up strongly, do you know that during over the time, Britain maintained a British advanced training team, training the opportunity killers who were killing people in the world. The British government maintained a British advanced training team to train opportunity soldiers who were killing people. And there was a man called Andrew Cohen, was the Deputy Secretary of State in America. He raised the issue of human rights. The British said no. Nobody knows who is killing Ugandans, but you are training the soldiers. We cannot tell whether it's soldiers or other people or the rebels. There was a directive, ask him, President Museveni, ask him. There was a directive on all of British airports and ports that if Museveni entered Britain, would be arrested and handed over to Britain. There was a directive. Immediately Museveni took power. The British were here. That's why Uganda is. Which embassy? I always ask people, using my microscope as a person who did international relations, what's the most powerful country in Uganda? Mwena muchigwa. You say America, you say Britain, you say the Vatican embassy.
Yeah, man.
The Vatican embassy is the most influential and powerful embassy in Uganda. Yeah. Why? All of the churches belong to the Vatican.
Chitufu. Is that Catholic?
When Archbishop Ruanga died, many Catholics wanted his war. But we waited the Pope's envoy. A Pope who was not born here can decide who should be a cardinal and who shouldn't. I told you that once the Vatican detected tribalism, the tribalism had created trouble the Catholic Church because the Archbishop of Mbarara, Bachenga, was supposed to be the Archbishop of Kampala. But they knew. Yes. But what did the Vatican do? They divided Uganda into 4 archdioceses. Each of the 4 is independent. Bachenga, what do you want? Did you want to go to Kampala? No. We don't have the leader of the Catholic Church in Uganda. Balibana, the 4 equals. If they are going to write a pastoral letter, they should sit 4. In fact, where you can say the leader of the Anglican, the Catholic Church in Uganda today, you can say the chairman of the Episcopal Conference, Ziwa. Kampala Archdiocese. At one time, 2 priests came from Toro, Fort Portal, to represent their areas in the CA, the constitutional making body. Cardinal Subuga said, you people, you don't have families. You go back to Fort Portal. Leave the laity to do their work. Concentrate on your pastoral work. The cardinal in Kampala. These 2 police denied him, but the court decided to nullify the election.
Yeah?
Yes. But today it can't. If the Archbishop of that area allows them to come and represent, nobody can tell them not to. Yes, that's my argument. The most powerful embassy in Uganda is the Vatican embassy. All of these embassies were tested and found wanting. Those of us who are old enough, we used to see the British and the Americans at their embassy near Parliament. How? We used to see them parking their buses with the children to go for safety to Nairobi, only to come back when the things are restored. Did Uganda have a single peacekeeper?
No.
Tell me. The only peacekeeper who came to Uganda was the Kenyan peacekeeper. Auntie, very was the agreement, a peace talks, and Nairobi, Uganda. Did we see a British peacekeeper here?
No.
So that's where you lost. All of these countries have lost. In fact, when you look at the situation, most of when a government collapses, it creates a vacuum. And that vacuum is always filled by non-government organizations or foreign aid. But in Uganda, most of the money they steal is Museveni's money. Not foreign money. Babazawan. Why? When you go to countries like Kenya, where a government, Moise government had collapsed, the parliament contained many non-government people because the government has collapsed. In Uganda, how many people come from a non-government organization to go to parliament? Because they're useless. Hey, Ugandans fear visas. Visas, me I'm open, even if I go for their visas. Yes, is somebody. I went to the American embassy. They told me, a rich man. I said, they have already told you, I'm a journalist who owns 2 newspapers. Do you have media owners in your country who are poor? I'm a rich man. I'm going to see to Uganda. Mutani wange yali akola Scotland. Abijani University ku oil. I was at least kubaga omuntu kaffe tukimanya at the airport. Scottish airport. Yes. Who are you? I explained. I'm a spokesperson of the president of Uganda. Have you come with a pistol? I said, you were stupid. And I know that it is illegal to come with my pistol. Yes. Have you brought my Museveni's money? Is it normal for here to carry the Queen's money? When I went to the university, we were very few blacks.
How are you?
How are you? One of the university. It is Scotland, your oil. And you put it, money, you push me around.
Mukuru Tamale Gatumaliriza. Oroza speaker college mukiseera.
No, we must stand behind the speaker. We should not use Chiramtwaye. We should rally behind the speaker. This is why I'm telling you, our High Commissioner to Britain must be recorded. Here, to explain. That's an expert. You look. Nabagandi, all of troubled countries that have bad images, what do they do? The foreign minister is always a woman. When Rwanda was facing challenges, image challenge, Musikangabo. When Nairobi was facing challenges, Amina.
One of Fatrina, okay,
what? A High Commission of Uganda to Britain, an ambassador to America, UN, an ambassador to China, an ambassador to Tanzania, an ambassador to Kenya must have commercial interests. What this is our largest trading issue. And the parliament has stepped on many toys. Abanimi bachi, benjaga, ujiweze, sigalo muweze, egundi. Abo bannakati oluwulira baga amuzungu ategeera. I predicted that once you say woman on the political scene, spell is doom. That's why Museveni handled this woman, the woman who almost reached Kampala.
Or Lakwena.
But Lakwena escaped. On the opportunity, Gundi, Professor Newton Ejoko was arrested. I'm now announcing we are likely to have a woman presidential candidate. I'm telling you. We are going to have a woman presidential candidate. A serious one. A serious. Federal Alliance yagenda na mirembe nagamba Museveni ng'omukazi ow'ekikulukuto bwe yajja ku Yesu nange bwe nze wano nkusabe federal yali akyogedde olwamulaga eggumba ng'embwa nadduka abo sibe ffe sibe bambirundi ffe so therefore mbagaye nti according to situation evaluation utalwa banondomazi because the president has taken anti bangoberera the president has taken over the battle ye kati yabeekubira. Their camp is divided, they try isolated. Kakati continuing fighting them over the same organ trade will appear as if I'm harboring personal vendetta against them. But my machines will continue monitoring them. The Narabian meeting yesterday early morning, Ganedana Mohali, yes, then I eat out. Ekitegeeza ministry ya heritage ekyalimu. Kubanga bano bali Museveni wayenzo mbayambe. They are heavily indebted. And the only available project, money, business, you don't feed a human being. He comes on his own, you kill him, you separate the organs, you export them. They have deals. Sente bali bazidemu advance.
Okay.
Nze mumveko ngezemu I've gone in politics, I'm going to run my program, my campaign team very soon. Mundeke ngende.
Mbagaliza kiseera kirungi mwerawa.
Brandeke ngende.